Welcome back to the BetterWealth Show. And in today's episode, or really video, gosh, it has been such a long time since I've been in the studio.
It's been a while. I'm glad you can remember how to speak.
I did, and then I remembered that we're switching things to YouTube instead of the podcast, and so I'm opening up all mumble jumbled. But I am really excited to be back, and I actually asked Caleb to come into the studio to do videos with me because one of the things we're doing here at BetterWealth is we're restructuring some of the way in which we're providing content for you guys, and one of them that he's kind of charged the team with is those who are experts. Let's make sure that as we talk about intentional living, that we're really diving into the areas that we're passionate about, that we love. And mine is kids.
Yes.
I love kids. And
Shocker.
Shocker. You know, I am a licensed teacher, and one of the things that I absolutely love is to teach. And being here at BetterWealth, it's been really convicting because I know that finances and money and all those things have not been a great foundation in my life. And so as I've been working here at BetterWealth, I've really enjoyed the conviction and the challenge to teach my children something different. And I know that there are other parents and entrepreneurs that we work with and people who are saying, how do I do this for myself? And then we see our children want them to take a different path. So I'm really excited because I have a few episodes and kind of some different, like a little mini series on kids. And so I brought Caleb into the studio today because I want him, he doesn't have kids yet, him in April. I know it's coming. So
Well, no announcements anytime soon, but maybe, we'll see. You jinxed us there.
Yeah. We all have bets behind. No. What we're going to do is I want to have Caleb get in the face of some kids because what I want to do is we're going to react to a video that I found really interesting. It's both cute because it has kids, but at the same time, there's principles behind it with money. Yeah. So I have a video on kids and some of the darndest things they say about money. And so we're going to go ahead and watch a video. It's going to be broken into a couple parts because there's different concepts. And I really want to get Caleb's first reaction really to what kids are saying and then have us have a dialogue so that parents, you at home, can also have that dialogue. So here we go. We're going to react to this video and kids say the darndest things about money. Ooh, what is money?
Paper. To buy food and drink, ice cream, paperwork.
Money is something you use to buy things.
Money is stuff that people can use to buy things with.
If you don't have money, you can't live with it. Then you die.
You can fix cars and then you get a little bit of money.
Okay.
I only want a little bit of money. I don't want a lot of money.
Geld is iets wat jy kry wanneer jy werk lewer.
Money to me is something that I used to buy anything.
You pay. Ice cream and suckers and cigarettes and...
No way.
All right.
My initial reaction is kids are really smart because they pick up on things like paper. You buy things. Someone's mentioned like you get that for what you work for, and so what's interesting. And even that little kid at the end that said cigarettes. What are the chances that his family smokes and like all that? So it's really interesting that kids are watching us and they're tying money to something that we call cash flow. It's like if you don't have money, you can't eat. I think one of the kids said that, and it's very, very true. And so one of the things that I think of is like, I wonder what they would say with cash flow. They probably wouldn't even know what that is, but money they see as something like something paper that they buy things for. And I would love to take it one step further and help them understand that money is essentially a scoreboard or is a debt to value. And yes, when you work, you provide value, but you can also do other things like invest, and that is value that money comes from. So a very, very, very cute video.
Yeah, I think what's funny is when it opens up to paper. These are kids from around the world. Yeah. It opens up that they recognize that it's something paper. It is something tangible. I think in a different video, they talked about it's a card.
Yeah.
And so the idea of money is not necessarily fully there, but they know that it's something that is tangible. and that it can be paid for. I think that the common language there is that you buy things with it.
Yep.
And that right there, what we don't realize is that kids will solidify their understanding of life by age 12. And so when you have kids observing that money is just something that you buy the things you want, what I noticed is all the things that they thought you could buy, a lot of them were the things that, again, like you say, or what they're observing their parents buy. They don't observe what goes on behind the scenes when they're in bed about budgeting and tracking money and looking at the bank account. What they're seeing and what they're observing is buying.
Your kids a lot of times are just seeing the highlight reel or the good or bad. They're not seeing the work or the discipline that goes behind it.
Right. So for me, if you had a kid here, if you had Tirza here, my little.
Yeah, we should have her in the studio sometime.
I thought that's another series. That one will be interesting. Tell me, how would you describe to these kids money if it goes beyond just buying it, based off of your philosophy, what we teach here at BetterWealth? This is a challenge.
Yeah. Well, I would go back to our framework, and our central framework is starting with you. What do you want? All this stuff. And I know how old is she? 3?
Yeah, 4. She's almost 5.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So the first thing would be like, we have to have some type of goal. That's where I maybe struggle with, is I don't know how to relate with a 5-year-old. But we would just essentially, I think the kids are on the right track. Like, it would be like this money can buy certain things, but you need to do something for it. There needs to be some type of behavior, work. There needs to be something. Again, I would try to, as soon as possible, help understand value creation. I know that's a tough word to understand. I know that it's even now considered like not appropriate to teach at school and all that. I won't even get into that, but it's like money follows value. And so one thing that I think we can teach the kids is, number one, money can buy certain things, but how you get the money, like teach them how they get the money, how they can obtain the money is very much by working on themselves and working on like always finding opportunities. And so one of my favorite TED Talks is Why We Raise Our Kids as Entrepreneurs by Cameron Herold. And he just gets people like, get your kids to learn that failing's okay. Get them to speak to other people. Get them to sell to because it's like, if you can teach a kid curiosity and entrepreneurship, that's where the creativity will come. Like, and that's where money will come. And so and then I would teach them the discipline of saving. So the importance of tithing, the importance of saving, the importance of tracking. That's what I would try to get across to kids. But you better believe my kids are going to be selling something door to door when they can walk and talk, because I just think it's just going to be amazing to learn how to fail, how to try to sell things, how to talk to people that are a lot older than you. It's something that I'm grateful that I had an opportunity to do, and I wish I was challenged more when I was young to do that.
Right. And something that I heard you say that I want to wrap up this episode with and this video with is, I don't remember having these conversations. I remembered learning through osmosis, right? It's the belief that you're this sponge, and this sponge is going to just soak it in. And we know that here, looking at kids, they do. And so the good, the bad, the ugly, they'll soak it in. And so if we want our children to do different, we have to have these conversations, even if we don't feel smart enough or wise enough to quite articulate it to their age. Like you said, that dollar, even taking that dollar to my daughter Tirza and talking about what money is. It's more than just paper. Mommy had to earn it. Daddy had to earn it, and we are going to be good stewards of it. That money conversation is something we have to have regardless of the age, because we will raise and shape their framework.
Here's one last thought is, when I was young, my mom had this thing called the blessing beans. And so it was interesting because she had two theories, and it would be interesting to get her on to talk to her about this. She did not want to do allowance because she didn't want us to feel like entitled, like, oh, you're doing work around the house, so I'm going to pay you. But on the flip side, the cool thing about giving allowance is you're teaching your kids some, like, how to manage money and save money. But what she did do is do something called the blessing jar. And essentially anything that we would do, if we would be nice to our siblings, if we would do work around the house, if we would finish our school or something, I don't really remember what it was, we would get blessing beans. And then we would have the ability to cash out those blessing beans for other things. I remember the most expensive one was like a date night with mom or dad or something. And we would have have a sheet. And it's interesting. We were all very young, but I think it taught us, again, we do things, value, we get something for it, we could save it, we could, the more we save, the higher we could cash things out. And then, some of my siblings would just buy things, whatever. And again, I forget the sheet. The irony of that is I actually never spent a blessing bean, and the program went away. And so I have this thing where I love to amass. I love to just save up things. And so that's kind of ironic, not really ironic, but it's very much like I am now, is like I'm a saver. So I don't know if that taught me saving or if it just showed that I was a saver at a young age.
And as a teacher, I think it really did. Again, we want to try to help. I'm going to have some different things available for you in the episode show notes, because we, depending on the age, those blessing beans are great for the younger age to show them and begin the behavior of understanding that, earning or working, they do receive something. It doesn't have to necessarily be money, but being able to have those concepts. The program probably got canceled because you got older.
Yeah, maybe.
and new lessons had to come. So there are age appropriate ways in which you teach these things. But again, the goal here with money is have those conversations with your kid, no matter how little they are. They will learn great habits when we have those conversations, and we don't assume that they just learn by observing us, because sometimes that can be both good and it can also be something that we don't want them to pick up. And so I hope you like this episode. Again, my heart is kids, and we want to partner with you guys as you guys begin to teach your children and learning better habits and raising children who really know what they want, how to live intentionally.